following movie review is rated R for retarded. In a world full of crime, corruption, and destruction, one man decides to review movies. This is Devil Dog at the Movies.
Hello everybody, it's me, Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I'm back with another movie review. This is what I'm calling the trifecta, the third and final Peter Jackson early movie that I am reviewing. First was Meet the Feebles, which was recommended to me. Then the second one was Bad Taste, and this one is known as Braindead. I believe it was a 1992 slapstick horror comedy zombie movie that Peter Jackson made, and it's well known for being highly edited due to the massive amounts of gore in it, even though it's a really funny slapstick movie. Honestly, out of all three of the movies, this one by far, even though it did come out in 92 later in his career, and it shows how well he progressed as a filmmaker, because man, this one's just crazy. So here it is. Here's my review for Braindead. First of all, before I get started, I want to say I made sure to actually choose only screenshots that did not have massive gore in it. That way, hopefully, I can actually have this video not get demonetized, because man, this movie is downright gory. Now, what to say about this film other than the fact the overall plot is it takes place in 1957 after these guys find a hybrid rat monkey that they capture on Skull Island, and they end up selling it to the Wellington Zoo. Now, at this point, when it's in the zoo, you get to meet the main characters of this movie. Lionel, who takes care of his mother, Vera, I think it is. And as you can see from the screenshots here, Lionel's a really nice guy. Kind of reminds me of one of the Doctor Who's. But he takes care of his mother, Vera, and they decide to go to the zoo one day. And when they're there, pretty much this hybrid rat monkey thing bites her, and after it bites her, she pretty much crushes it with her shoe and kills it. But as the movie progresses, you realize that with the name of the movie being Braindead, that it pretty much kills her and turns her into a zombie, a very violent zombie, as she goes around trying to eat other people. And like I said, the gore in this is very intense. There's a lot more gore in this than you would even imagine would be in it. And, you got Lionel who doesn't know what to do. He's trying to take care of his mother as she dies on him. And as it goes through, she mutates into this monster. And everybody that she comes in contact with, that she attacks and bites, they turn into a zombie as well. So eventually, down near the end of this movie, she's turned everyone in this whole area into this massive zombie horde. And he's doing everything to try to be a good son. And at first, trying to keep her locked up in the basement and stuff. And as she kills more and more people violently, that's where a lot of the slapstick humor comes into this, where, it's a funny movie. It's violent, it's very gory, the acting is very well done, and it's very funny, So he decides to lock up these people every time that she kills somebody and turns them into a zombie. He locks them up in their basement of this Victorian house and goes and visits this doctor, I'm just going to call him a German doctor, to get this, a tranquilizer so he can keep her sedated. And as the time goes on, he's sedating more and more of these people because she just keeps turning more and more people into zombies. And they end up finding out that this guy realizes that, hey, your mom's dead, and they bury her. And then, so he's going to the gravesite to pretty much make sure that she's sedated, when these thugs meet him and think that, hey, he's here to dig up the body. He's a necrophiliac. So they go to beat her up, and when they do, she comes back to life and starts brutally murdering him. When this priest shows up, and he's there, the priest is fantastic. He knows all kinds of karate, and he's like, hey, I'm here to kick ass for the Lord. And, he ends up dying too. And one by one, he keeps getting
getting more and more of these zombie people locked up in the basement, sedating them until eventually he gets to a point where he's like, I just can't do this no more. So he goes to give them poison, where he gets it from the doctor, but he finds out that it's actually a stimulant, and it like makes them all even more energetic, to where the zombies mate and have a baby. And this zombie baby, it's more slapstick. He takes him outside to the park, and the zombie baby's running around. They show him just smashing this baby around and stuff. He's like, oh my God, you're such a weird guy. And eventually, some of the neighbors and stuff realize, like, hey, okay, you have a bunch of dead bodies in your basement, and this is just wrong. So they try to call the police, but the guy's blackmailing them instead of letting them know. And for some reason or another, they decide, let's hold a party here. The one guy's like, we're going to hold a party here. And when he does that, everything just goes wrong. I mean, literally, everybody at the party becomes zombies, and this massive gore fest ensues with these big epic battles between pretty much Lionel and this girl that he finds as he's struggling around to try to stop all these zombies, destroy them, and defeat them. And, at the same time, he realizes, oh my crap, the stimulant pretty much brought his mother back to life and made her super strong, to where she mutates into this giant monster that he has to fight. And, it's just a very schlocky, very slapstick comedy that is funny. And, for its time being made in 1992, it's got really good effects. It's got massive amounts of gore in this. I mean, brutal gore. And the characters are funny, the gore is fantastic, the acting is very well done, the story is just an excuse to get from point A to point B, to keep having people get turned into zombies and stuff. But when you get to see, like, the zombies that are like in love with each other, having babies, and at the end he decides to finish off all these zombies by taking a lawnmower to them and pretty much grinding them all up in this big epic finale that is a massive bloodbath. And it's all practical effects. The only part in this movie I would say that wasn't done with practical effects was the very beginning with the rat monkey. That was done with some stop motion animation, which for its time still looked pretty good, but it stood out amongst everything else. While everything else was just honestly fantastic. Hands down, out of the three movies, this is my personal fan favorite, and I can highly recommend it.
I mean, pretty much at the end, Lionel ends up becoming a hero, falling in love with this little Mexican girl that worked at I think it was a meat shop or something. And they're like the only two survivors of this big onslaught. They fight, he fights his mother, or the big monster mother at the very end, defeats her, saves his girl, they slide down to safety, and then they kiss at the end as the house burns down to the ground. Hands down, Braindead is one of the most goriest, most violently funny movies I have seen in a long time. It has way more gore than any of the Hellraiser movies combined. Massive, massive gore. In fact, this movie is so gruesome and gory, they had to edit the living tar out of it in a lot of countries. Some places it was banned, and it almost got it ended up getting an 18 and up rating in New Zealand, but it almost got a 16 or a 14, I forget the rating system there, because of the slapstick comedy. There's so much slapstick comedy in this, it made it to where it's such a funny movie, but the gore is so over the top that it still ended up getting an 18 rating. And in fact, even here in the United States, it was highly edited. A lot of the gore was removed from it, and you can find uncut, unrated versions of it. I've heard the possibility of Peter Jackson re-releasing remasters of his older movies, this being one of them. And in fact, they even changed the name here in America. It was called Dead Alive, I believe, because Braindead was actually a name that was taken for something else. And apparently this movie actually had a budget at the time of $3 million. And it, once again, was not a moneymaker. I think, at least in America, it made like $242,000 off of a $3 million budget. Yeah, it did not make hardly any money at all in the box office. Probably because they changed the name and they highly edited all the gruesome scenes out of it. But honestly, if you have a chance to see the uncut version of Braindead, I highly recommend it. Unlike Meet the Feebles, which you have to be drunk to watch, unlike Bad Taste, which is just not a good movie, this one has got a great flow. It's entertaining from start to finish. It starts off with action. It goes through, and it's actually a well-scripted movie, a very well-filmed movie, and honestly, with the acting, the gore, and all the comedy aspects in it, hands down, this is one heck of a great roller coaster ride of gruesome, funny, slapstick gore. I can't believe I can say this. I was going, ew, oh, gross, and laughing my ass off at this movie at the same time. So if you have a chance to check out Braindead, the uncut, unrated version of Braindead, I can highly recommend it. This, hands down, is a fantastic movie, and this is pretty much at the point in Peter Jackson's career when you can start seeing that he's really getting the ball rolling on being a really superb superb director and filmographer in terms of just the pacing, the structure, the massive gore. Honestly, this movie is friggin' phenomenal. Check it out today. I guarantee you, if you love gore and you love comedies, you will say, hands down, this is a fantastic movie. This was Nate, aka Devil Dog. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching this review. Please leave in the comments below if you've seen Braindead, if you've seen the unedited version or not, and what did you think about it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Make sure to hit the bell icon to stay updated whenever I release any new videos. And remember, I always end my videos by saying, have fun, play hard, and remember, people, the devil is in the details. Peace out until next time.